Hello everyone, this is Dr. Sirisha, working for Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today we are going to look at a session which is placement oriented. This video is especially for students who are attempting for TCS National Qualifier Test, which is prominently known as NQT. So which is having a broad series of areas where they are going to test you like aptitude, reasoning, programming, and loads more. And you will be having coding test also. A brief overview of TCS NQT is already published in our previous videos. Please have a look at that. In this session, we are going to concentrate on programming logic questions. So let's see what kind of logical questions in terms of programming will be asked in this qualifier test. Let's start with the first one. Have a look at this question. So this is a pseudocode. Generally, most of the questions in placements, especially in TCS NQT, will be pseudocodes only. Okay. So as you all know, pseudocode gives you a brief picture of the problem and it is not biased to any programming language. Right? Let's have a look at this pseudocode and let's analyze it and try to get the answer for this one. Guys, you need to have a logical thinking because in this session, that is in this mode of test, they'll not be providing you any programming language software to convert this pseudocode into that language and execute it. You have to manually evaluate and get the answer. So have a look at this function. Here, it is a small function which is taking three variables where the values of x, y, and z are pre-initialized. There is a small expression given on there. I hope you can see z is equal to x, z is equal to x, exclusive or y, bitwise end z. Right? This is a small expression. You have to calculate it and you have to print, which is the output of this function, which is the final value of z. So if you expand this one, it will be converted into z is equal to z plus x exclusive y, bitwise end and z. So you can see there are four different operators over here. One is assignment. If I start from left to right, it is first one is assignment, second one is addition, third one is XOR, and fourth one is end, bitwise end, right? So while evaluating any expression, you have to keep the precedence table or the chart in your minds. So as there are four, which one must be evaluated first? So the options which they are going to give will be relevant only. They will not be vague. Why I'm saying this is, so most of the students get confused. They first of all evaluate z plus x and so on and so on and so on, but which is not true, right? Because you have to be very careful while checking at the precedences. So here, okay, we all know that assignment will get the least one because once you evaluate whatever the expression that is given on the left hand side, on the right hand side which is evaluated, then the result will be assigned to the left hand side variable, right? So coming to so we have cut short the four operators into three operators. We have plus, XOR and bitwise end in our hands, right? So out of these three, which one will get the highest priority? So if you recollect the operators in your mind, so out of the bitwise operators have higher priority when compared, right? So enough. Have a look at the operators within the circuit. There are two bitwise XOR and bitwise end. Both belong to the same fraternity, that is bitwise. So which one will get the higher priority? So bitwise end enjoys the same, right? So it gets the highest priority. So first of all, evaluate bitwise end of y and z. The value of y is 0. If you convert as I'm saying they are bitwise operators, you have to convert the given decimal value into bitwise fixed. So it is 4. So 0, 1, 0, 0. which is the value of y. Coming to the value of z, which is 5. So 0, 1, 0, 1. Right? So bitwise end. Bitwise end tells that the result will be true or 1 if both the conditions are true or 1. Right? So that clearly tells that 0, 1, 0, 0 is the answer. So once bitwise end is over, go for exclusive. So what is the value of x, which is 2, right? So the bit value of it is 0, 0, 1, 0. Coming to the XOR. XOR, bitwise XOR results true if the given two bits are different in nature. Say if one is, the first bit is 1, the other should be 0. If the first is 0, the second should be 1. So only in that case, if the values are different, if the bits are different, then the result will be true or else it will be false, right? So look at this one. You have 0, 1, 1 and 0. That is the result. Coming to the last evaluation, which is Z. Z is 5, right? So what is the result of this one? Let's have a look at the screen and please try to evaluate that. So 4 and 2, right? 4 plus 2, which is 6. So the ultimate expression Z is Z plus the result of the value which we just calculated, which is 6. So Z value is 5, 5 plus 6 is 11. So the total result of this expression, given expression, or you can call the output of the given function is 11, which is option number B, right? So yes, guys, stay calm whenever you find these types of questions. Okay, first of all, expand the expression. Here they have given additional assignment operator, Z plus equal to, right? Addition assignment, right? So expand it. So look at what are the operators that are in your hands, right? Then just recollect the precedence table and start evaluating. If you have bitwise operators in your hands, so convert them into binary values and then evaluate, right? I hope you understood this one. Let's move to the next one. So have a look at this piece of code. You can clearly see that it is a C programming language. Guys, you need to be very aware of that. In the coding round of your placements, you can choose the Python, C++, Java, any programming language in which you are comfortable. But coming to the MCQs round, which will be a step ahead of coding round, will be biased to C. That we have seen that it is an observation after looking at various previous question papers of many companies. I'm not pinpointing it. This is any company. We see that we have observed that the MCQs round, the programming logics will be biased to C. See, previous question was in pseudocode and this one is in C. Right? So here, this is a simple piece of code. Let's analyze this one. So you can see that two variables A and B are declared. Yes, not yet initialized, just declared as long double. Recollect as they are talking about size of. Size of function is used to get the number of bytes occupied by any declared variable. Any pre-declared variable. Okay, so here you can see that whatever the values of A and B, it is not important, right? The data type of that variable is important or the only requirement of size of. Okay, so here they're asking for, so what will be the size of this expression, which says not of A plus B. So for this, they are asking the size of the resultant of not A plus B. And have a look at that code. They have not initialized the values of either A or B. Okay, so size of function, as I said, it doesn't rely on values. It relies on the variable score data type. So have a look at that. So you can see that A and B both are of data type long double, and long double occupies 16 bytes. Okay, so A is going to occupy 16 bytes and B is going to occupy 16 bytes, right? So very good. So whatever expression you have within size of function, the result will be long double and its size will also be 16. Very good. So where this size of function is being placed? It is placed in the array declaration, right? So they have declared an array with the name ARR of type int. So within that, they have used size of function. So the result of size of function is 16, right? So the result and the output of this program, as mini program will be, this program will be to display the size of, you have to display the size of this array, which they have declared. So what will be the size of this array? It's quite simple, guys. You can see that this array is having 16 elements. This can maximum accommodate 16 elements. And each element will be of type integer, right? And we all know that integers take 4 bytes, right? It's as simple as that. 16 fours is the answer. If each element in the array occupies or takes 4 bytes, how much memory 16 elements or 16 elements placed consecutively? If in the language of arrays you want to talk, consecutively placed, how many bytes it is going to occupy? 64, 16 fours, right? Okay. So in few questions, the logic will be placed in such a way that you have to take care that what the innermost meaning of it. Have a look at this question, guys. They have given not A to confuse you guys. Don't get confused. Even though few may be thinking that it is runtime error or some no output. Why? Because the values of A and B are not initialized. I admit it, the values of A and B are just declared but not initialized. But the functions which are used, the way the values of the variables A and B are used in this program doesn't need any initialization. Are you doing any operation with the values of A and B? You are just playing with the code which have, the one who have framed this question is just playing with the size of those variables. That's it. So you don't need any initialization. So that's why the first option also they have given it as runtime error, as A and B are not initialized. So please don't go with that. Please have a look at the question peacefully, calmly, okay, and analyze it. Okay, guys, most of the times they will be giving compilation error, runtime error, just to confuse you guys. Okay, if you strongly feel that it is compilation error, then only go for that option, or else the answer will be something other than that. Okay, so we have gone through so many question papers. On the basis of that, I can able to tell you. Okay, so let's move quickly to the next one. Here is a huge set of statements they have given based upon if-else ladder. Okay, so they have given statements which in C execute C program. So it is, this set is not biased. I can say that it is not biased to any programming language. But if you look at this one, it is just like a syntax. It is syntax of syntactically written, right? And they are asking, when will be the statement C get executed, right? So can we look at to this one, guys? So elaborate it. If you have rough paper, please elaborate it. Don't get confused. Okay. So if you get, okay, I'll not put the pen on the screen and I'll try to explain this one to you guys. Have a look broadly. If you look into that, if the first condition is been placed, if the condition is true, the body from here is going to get executed. Okay. Unless it encounters the else. Right? Okay, fine. If the condition fails, then it will go to the else. So here, where the statement C is placed. We are supposed to reach that statement C. So they are asking the combination of these conditions, the logical connection between these conditions given, so that statement C is executed, right? So we can clearly see that statement C, which is placed within the body of the if condition, right? So only if condition 1 is true, you can get inside the body of if to reach C. Well and good. Next, what is the next evaluation? Next evaluation is, if condition 2 is true, statement A will get executed and you'll come out of this decision making statement. But we are not supposed to reach A. This is like a maze, right? So obviously condition 2 must be false. Pakka it must be false. Okay. Then the control will go to condition 3. So even condition 3, if it gets true, then statement B will be executed. And this is not our destination. So condition 3 must also be false. Guys, have a look. Condition 1 must be true. Condition 2 must be false. Condition 3 must be false. Only if all these 3 things happen, your else part is going to get executed. Thereby the statement C will get executed. Now have a look at all the options given. Okay. Then see what happens. If you look at the first one, not of condition 1. That means condition 1 must fail. That itself tells that this is not the right option. It is a blunder. Coming to the second one, condition 1. Yes, condition 1, as per our analysis, condition 1 should be true. Very good. And it is connected with end. Very good. Condition 1 and not of condition 2. That means condition 2 must be false. Yes, even we were thinking of the same. Condition 2 must be false, not of. End. Not of condition 3. That means even condition 3 must be false. Right? Yes. B suits our evaluation. Condition 1 is true and condition 2 is false. Condition 3 is false. So the situation sets right. If you evaluate this end, not of false, end, not of false. That's what we have evaluated, right? So true and true and true. What is the not of false? True, right? If all the conditions which are connected with logical end are true, obviously the result is true, right? So B suits. So I am expecting that B is the right answer. Yes, B is the right answer, right? Yes. As I said, broadly, separate it, try to evaluate one by one. That will be quite easy for you. And this is a simple decision making statement which is later of that. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Here again, they have come up with a piece of pseudocode. Okay. So they have taken 2 variables which are initialized and a third variable which is just declared but not initialized. And the logic of the pseudocode is to initialize the value of Z, and you have to figure out what will be the end value of Z. Okay, let's track this one. So X is 4, Y is 0. You have to get the value of Z. Z, they have given that Y, post increment and Y. Guys, that's why I tell you, these pseudocodes will be biased towards C. See, they have given post increment, which you will not see in Python, right? So, you have to be very careful, and the total basics, I'm not telling you guys to go deep into C, but basics of your C programming language must be on your fingertips, okay? Okay, let's evaluate this one. So, Z is been initialized. If you look in a broader, if you just look over a look, you can see that it is initialized with 2 values. And these 2 values are separated with a comma operator. Right? Fine. So let's see how this happens. So whatever, see, brackets are given, right? So highest priority will be given to brackets, right? Evaluate whatever the mini expression that is within the brackets, evaluate it. The final resultant, assign it to set. Good. Then what happens? So y, what is the value of y? Which is 0. 0 post increment 0 as of now. Or okay, I'll make it as y. For your convenience, I'll make it as y. Okay, if you first if you substitute the value of y, you are going to get this. So what is the post increment value of y? So the post increment value of, guys, I cannot do this because constant 0 is a constant. I cannot place it on that. Okay, so if you elaborate it, it is y is equal to y plus 1. So what is the value of y? 0 plus 1, it is 1. So y has been initialized to, 1 has been initialized to y. Well and good. Then even here it will be 1, right? So the comma operator, so both are 1s. So which value will be assigned? Whatever the value it may be, 1 will be assigned to set. So the final value of set is 1. So undefined behavior due to order of evaluation can be different. No. So whatever it may be, interpreter or compiler, whatever the end language you prefer, the answer will be 1. Okay, so simple evaluation, guys. Simple a comma operator which separates, which is given very less importance when we come to programming. See here, even here we use comma operator, but we never think of that. Please think of that. Even that is very important to learn. Okay, next one. This is a piece of pseudocode once again. Okay, so hash define preprocessor directives. I hope you remember that. Preprocessor directives, hashtag. Okay, we define global values, right? Using hash define, we go for declaration of global values. That means in the whole program, there may be any number of functions. All the functions can use that variable, and that corresponding value will be utilized throughout the program. Global declaration. Okay, using hash define, we go for global declarations. So in this global declaration, they have defined variable A as 4, variable B as 4, right? Coming to the third variable global declaration, they have declared it as all variable, which is a summation of the pre-declared global variables, right? So what will be the value? So value of A is 4 plus value of B is 4, so 8. 8 is the global declaration of all variables. Okay, so what they're asking is, what will be the result of the above macros? What will be the result of all variables multiplied by all variables? The name of that variable, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so 8 into 8. Obviously, 64 is the right answer. Right? So don't get panic. What is hash define? It's just a preprocessor directive used for global declarations. Then what do you mean by global declarations? The variables that are declared under this section can be used by any function within that program. Okay? Its life will be throughout the program. Okay? That's why they are called as global declarations. Okay, let's move to the next one. Have a look. Have a look at the piece of code which they have given. Let's understand. They have given 2 variables they have declared, x and y with values 2 and 0. And they have declared z and initialized it with an expression, a huge expression. So don't get panic, we'll evaluate it. It's a simple point. Okay, so have a look. So what they are using, if you look into a broader sense, there is a question mark and a colon, which tells you that this is a conditional operator. Conditional, or many people call it as ternary operator also. Right? We widely use it in C programming. Wherever we have a simple point of decision making, rather than going for if else, we prefer ternary operator. Right? Fine. So let's have a look at this conditional operator. So what they have given is the condition, whatever. So the syntax of this one will be, condition will be given with a question followed by question mark. And if the condition is true, then this part 1, let me take it as part 1, colon, part 2. Two parts will be there. Okay, if the condition is true, the first part will be evaluated. If the condition is false, second part will be evaluated. This is how a conditional operator works. Okay, so let's see how, let's evaluate this one. Okay, so here our condition is pre-increment of y. So what I can expand this as y is equal to y plus 1, where y is 0, 0 plus 1, it is 1. So y is 1. So anything other than 0 is true, right? So the condition over here tells that the result is true. If it is true, the part 1, the truth part will be executed. What is the truth part, guys? This is the truth part, right? This is, or I'm not going to write it as true. It will look odd. Part 1 based upon our syntax. Okay, so let's evaluate this one now. So we have reached that. Definitely the answer cannot be the part 2, right? So let's evaluate part 1. Part 1 tells us about it is pre-decrement of y is equal to 1, logical end with x. Very good. How many operators are there? 3 operators. Pre-decrement, a relational operator, right? So equality relational operator, and then bitwise end. Let's start with the precedence. Precedence always tells that first of all perform the pre-decrement operation. Pre-increment or decrementation operators will have higher priority, okay, when compared to relational and your logical operators. So if you evaluate that, the value of y, previously what we have calculated it as 1. I hope you remember that. That's why we went to part 1, right? So it will be, if you decrement it, it will be 0. So 0 is equal to 1, logical end with x. This is how it is going to get converted. Very good. Now we have 2 operators in hands, relational and bitwise. Coming to these 2, bitwise, relational will get higher priority. So evaluate this. If you look at that, the left hand side is false, the right hand side is true. They are not equal. So the result of this relation is false. False and x. How to evaluate this? So x is true. Very good. F and 2. What do you mean by 2? The value of x is 2, right? 2 means it is a value something other than 0. That means it is true. And logical end will give you result as true if both the conditions are true. But here one of our condition is false. So it is false. So the overall result of the expression is false. So the value that z is going to get is 0. So when you print the value, it will be 0. Yes, I'm right. It's A. Evaluate it, guys, whenever you look at such a huge expressions which are a combination of increments, decrements, relational, logical. Don't get a horror picture in your minds. Don't do that. Don't get panic. Actually speaking, these type of questions are very, very, very easier when compared to the things which look very simple, right? Because those simple lines will have a hidden meaning, but here whatever is there, these statements are going to talk on face, right? So don't get panicked. So it's and as I said for the first question itself, the precedence table must be in your minds. Okay, right. Let's go to the next one. Simple one, guys. This is a small program written in C. Obviously, you can see it is int main, and it is usage. So they have declared a value of x, right? The value of x. The value will be, they've declared it as float, but its value it is going to get as the return value of a function call, right? The control will go to this function. So, and the function is saying that, okay, calculate the value of j, which is j by I, right? Yes, j by I, where the value of j is 5, I is 10, the value which you are going to get from the function main. So 0.5. Our normal calculation tells you that, right? But have a look at this one, what it is saying. So the result will be 0.5 with 6 precision will be the right answer. But they are truncating it to 3 digits after point. So guys, remove these 3 zeros. Okay, so the same value is passed to the function, and that value will be passed to x, and the same value of x is being printed from main, but here they are again truncating it to 2 decimal points, so it will be 0.50. That's it, simple. Yes, only thing is you have to understand this format of printing. Whatever the value of n will be, those many decimal values will be placed after dot in a float value. Okay, that is a simple syntax. Please keep that in mind. Okay, right. Let's move to the next one. Yes, guys, here they have given a macro, right? And you can see that this is a function. We prominently call them as inline functions. I hope you might have heard about that, inline functions. Then what is the basic difference between a function and an inline function? The basic difference is whenever there is a function call, okay, there is a function call, the control, what happens is the control moves from that function to the function which is being called the another function. So to return, the address of the first function will be stored, right? For that, a stack is required, right? Memory must be maintained. So many things. It is heavy weightage. Execution time will be heavy. Space complexity will be heavy. Totally heavy in all types of complexities. In case you have a simple 2-line statement or just an expression to be evaluated, then better write an inline functions rather than a normal ordinary function. Then what is the point in writing inline functions? Inline functions will not make you move out of your function. Whenever there is a function call, the macro gets invoked, right? The inline function gets invoked, and the body of that inline function will be placed in the called function, right? It is going to expand itself wherever it is called. That is the beauty of inline functions, right? Just have a look at this function call over here. Here they are calling I plus j as the first parameter and j as the second parameter. The value of I is -6, j is 3, right? So what most of the students go wrong, the place where most of the students go wrong is, what they do is they do minus 6 plus 3 over here, minus 3, and they take minus 3 as the first argument and start working, which is a blunder. Don't do that. In case of inline functions, especially don't do that. What inline functions tell us is, take them as it is, expand them. So the body of the inline function x comma y is this one, x by y plus x. Place it as it is. Here x is going to take the value of I plus j and y is going to take the value of j. Replace it. So this place will be replaced by I plus j by j plus x. What is the value of x? I plus j. Right? So this is the expansion. This is what the definition of inline function says. Kindly do not perform I plus j and pass that as the value of x. No, don't do that. Okay, now replace the values. Now it got expanded. The inline function got expanded in the called function itself, right? Now here do that. Minus 6 plus 3 by 3 minus 6 plus 3. Now perform. Here very simple things are there. All are arithmetic operators. Do it. Minus 6 plus 1 minus 6 plus 3 minus 5 minus 6 plus 3 minus 7, 11 plus 3 minus 8 is the answer. Guys, don't get confused. As I said, inline functions gets expanded the place where they are placed or called. Okay, don't do any evaluations with the parameters which you are going to pass. If you do that, you will get the answer as minus 4, where you are going to miss your chance. And don't even think that it is a compilation error. Inline functions, just go through your theory pads or just refresh. You might have heard about it, but went somewhere. So refresh it. One more beautiful question is, this is a piece of code where you can see it is a matrix of characters, right? Here, the matrix of characters is being defined with the 10 by 5. We all know that first index for row and second for column. Okay, so what can be the answer for this one? Right. So let's expand this one. So index values start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, so on to 9. Whereas columns 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Place the values. Characters, H, I, H, E, L, L, O, F, E, L, L, O. There is no place for W and S. Why? Because look at the columns. It is just 5. So the remaining 2 characters W and S will not be saved. That is the first point you have to understand. Second point. Area A of 2, they are taking the name of a matrix but using only one index value. What do you think? Is it a compilation error or a runtime error? That means, is it a syntax error or semantic error? Okay, I hope you understand the difference between these two. Is it a syntax error or semantic error? Neither of them. It is absolutely perfect version which is going to get compiled and it is going to run with the proper output. I'll tell you why. Guys, here whenever you have a single index, please keep in mind that they are talking about rows. Row value, row index value they have mentioned over there. If they have not mentioned any column value, it means that they want you guys to take the full all column values, whatever the maximum size is. Here the maximum size is 5. Take them all. That means till the index value 4. So coming to the row 2, 0, 1, 2, here it is, till the max. So F, E, L, L will be extracted. The answer will be C. So 2 points you have to keep in mind, guys. First one, at the time of declaration and at the time of usage. At the time of declaration, column initialization is mandate. Why? Because if you declare an array something like this, like H I, okay, you take it in at a stage. Hi, how are you? So to store this, it relies on the column value to decide from where it have to start the next row, right? So while declaring and initializing, we need the column value very badly. We need it. It is mandate. Coming to usage, even though we don't give the column value, row value becomes mandate. Just like in this case, row becomes mandate. With which row you are talking to, right? If you know the row, if you specify the column value, well and good, you'll go to that particular cell, right? Which have ith row and jth column, you'll pick that cell. If they do not mention the column value, you can talk or retrieve the whole column, right? But knowing the row index is very important, right? So for usage, row value is very important, while declaration and initialization, column value is important. Okay, please remember, and please don't get it. They have given only one index. It is compilation error. No, it's not compilation. Execute it, guys. You'll get the answer. Okay, right. Let's go to the next one. Guys, this is the last question of our video. Please pay attention. Here you have they're analyzing a scanf function. The one who are working or worked with C know what a scanf function is, right? Right. Here this statement is trying to read three values. One is of type integer, second is of type float, third is of type character. And the values that are assigned to them are integer, float, and character, respectively. So the question is, what value will be returned by scanf? So most of the students get confused. I've seen so many students. They think that their primary question will be, is the scanf statement going to return any value? It is the statement to read values. My dear, scanf returns, right? Every inbuilt, almost 99% of all the inbuilt functions returns value. Then what a scanf returns? Scanf returns the maximum, that is the totally perfectly read values, right? So here have a look at the mapping. The first one, you are trying to read an integer and you read an integer. Hit 1. The return value is 1 as of now, not totally. Now the second format string is %f, where you are reading a float value 3.2. Second hit, that is 1. That is a perfect reading, right? Mapping is right. Third one is character you are supposed to read and you are reading a character S. Third hit, right? So the return value of this scanf is 3. Have a look at this one. I'm just I have changed this one. See, first one, you are supposed to read an integer and you are reading an integer, hit 1. Second one, you are supposed to read a float value, but you are reading a character, which will return you 0. Right? Third one, you are supposed to read a character, but you are reading a float value, which will return you 0. Right? How many number of successful readings are there? Only 1. So the second scanf statement, that is this one, is going to return only 1. Remember, guys, scanf statement do return values and it returns the number of successful readings. Okay, guys, with this, I close this video. I hope I added some value to your preparations of TCS, NQT, and all the best. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.